So you've got the perfect joystick, the rudder pedals, maybe even a yoke, and you think you're immersed, but you're still fundamentally cut off from one of the most single important sources in flying. You're missing the feeling. This isn't just a seat cushion. This is the HF8 Pro by Next Level Racing, and it's the key to transforming a layer of physical data into something you can feel. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. So let's get straight into the unboxing. Let's see what comes in the package. Now this came in a plain old box, and inside that was this nice Next Level Racing box. So let's open it up and see what we actually have inside. Now surprisingly, there's not actually a lot in the box. We've got this white box, and then of course the main thing, the seat cover. But other than that, there's nothing else in the box. So I'll try and stop saying the word box after this. Let's open up this box and take a look inside. Inside we'll find the power adapter itself, but not only that, with a bunch of interchangeable different sockets. So no matter where you are in the world, you should have one for you. Now I'm in Australia, so I'm going to obviously use the Australian plug. But other than that, let's take a look at the seat cover itself. So as you can see, it comes wrapped in this plastic to keep it nice and safe so it doesn't get dirty. But once you get it out, you'll see a manual falls out from behind it, which is great because I was wondering where that would be. But other than that, once you flip it over, you can really see where all the action starts to happen. Thankfully, Next Level Racing includes some Velcro ties so you can keep all these cables nice and tidy. Now, it does look like a lot, but it's purely just because of the length. There's a lot of length on these cables, so if your computer's a bit further away like mine is, you won't have any troubles. But here's the main controller itself. You can stop, start, and turn up and down the intensity. Now in terms of connecting it to your computer, you've got several options. You've got USB, or you can use audio. So it includes a 3.5mm jack that you can connect to a console or a computer that isn't supporting the game you want, and it's also got pass-through. So it'll take that sound and try and make it vibrate to the sound, if you will. But if you want the full experience, definitely use the USB cable. Now, I'm actually quite surprised. I'm pushing down pretty hard and I can't feel the haptic motors. They've done a great job at padding these up, which is obviously the benefit of the Pro Series, the successor to the HF8. This has over 200% more torque, 400% more power, and it's 60% faster. This is by far one of the best haptic gaming pads you can get today. I got the HF8 mounted to the Boeing rig. It was really easy to fit it to it. All you gotta do is tighten down the straps, plug in 2 cables, USB and power, and that's it. Other than that, all we have to do is download the software off Next Level Racing's website and fire it up. And we can go straight to testing the motors. So you'll see an image of the HF8 Pro here, and you can actually click on all the different motors and test them out. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but they are loud. When you're not sitting on it, you can really hear them. Like, that's really loud. But once you obviously sit in the seat properly, nowhere near as loud, but they are incredibly powerful. But just off to the side, we can see a list of supported games as well. These include things like Assetto Corsa, F1, Dirt Rally, and of course the most important ones, Flight Sim. So we got 2020, X-Plane 11, DCS World, X-Plane 12, and 2024 as well. So let's jump straight in the simulator and see what this can actually do. And here we are in the sim, and straight away the chair has come alive. This thing is crazy. Already as I'm increasing the power, I can feel the haptic feedback straight through the chair. It's incredible. It started at my butt, but as I've pushed the power forward, I can really feel it around my calf, those front motors there, and the vibration is intense. I can really feel the RPM of the engine. And as I drop it back, it kind of shifts towards the rear again. And obviously the intensity in the RPM and the motor slows down, and even in the turn here, as I add a bit of a load to the turn, you can really feel it across the shoulders as well. So as you start to put a G load on the aircraft, specifically as you push the nose down, most of the vibrations will happen at your shoulder. But as you start to pull back up and push G's down, you can really feel it all through the lower region. That's incredible. And even as you push a negative G, you got a slight rumble at the back, but mostly at the shoulders. Now, I haven't played around much with the settings at all. In fact, it's completely on the default one. So I'm just going to quickly see if I can adjust some of these settings. Oh, I can, okay. So you can change them on the fly in real time. So I'm just going to lower the RPM of the engine, the vibrations that is. Okay, so I've had a quick play around with the settings now, and I've got them dialed down a bit better. I had to actually turn it down a bit because it was just so intense, and having the RPM sensitivity so high kind of drowns out the other effects. But now I've got it down pretty well to the point where if I start banking the aircraft hard right and left, I can actually feel the right and left side vibrating corresponding to what the sim's doing. But I want to try something a bit extreme here. I want to see what it feels like landing on this road. And whoa! I don't know if you can hear that, but every bump, every touchdown, you can feel. Whoa, okay. Needless to say, I felt that on a personal level. That's insane. This is crazy. All right, and here we are in an F-18. Now this is incredible. I can't even begin to explain how amazing this is. As you start really forcing the aircraft around, especially as you bank each side, you feel it correspond on the chair. You feel the right side vibrate as I put the right wing in and pull back. As I push down, you feel the top shoulders vibrating. As I pull back up again, it goes down to my thighs. This is, I don't have words for how cool this is. And even better is, each engine corresponds to each side of the chair. So if I cut power to the right engine, for example, you guys can't really tell, but you'll have to take my word for it. Only the left side of the seat is now vibrating. The right side's got a very subtle vibration to it, but very dominant on the left now. But if I bring that right throttle back up, or even switch them, it's now the right side that's vibrating. That is so cool. The strangest feeling to me so far is how normal this feels. It doesn't feel foreign, it actually feels like it's meant to be there. Like it almost feels like they made this seat just for Flight Simulator, which I know they didn't, but they've done it so well that it just fits in. Just the ability to feel what the aircraft is actually doing takes this to a whole new level. And the best part is, this will work for any aircraft, whether you're flying the A380 or PMDG's 777 or 737, it doesn't matter. It will work. But let's try something a bit more practical. I'm here in the Fenix A320. I want to see what I can actually feel through my seat. So we're ready to start the engines. So we'll start with engine number 2. Alright, so I'm starting to feel a slight vibration in the right side, and now the seat's really coming alive. It's mostly in the base of the seat, a little bit in the shoulder, but that's really cool. The only thing I'll say at the moment is I'm having some real bad issues with 2024. Something's gone wrong with the computer, but for some reason it's only 2024. But point being, I can get these stutters that are quite noticeable and horrific, and when you get a stutter in a simulator, the seat instantly pauses with it, which can kind of take away from it. Now that's not a fault of Next Level Racing at all. There's no real way to get around that, but it's definitely something to note. If your simulator runs a bit more on the stutterier side, just note that that is a thing. Now this is a bit more practical to me because I mostly fly airliners, especially in 2024. So I really want to know if I can actually pick up on the ground texture of the runway, because there's a lot of bumps and ridges, especially when you go over those lights. to see if we can actually feel those minor details. Here we are, we're lined up on runway 27, a runway I'm extremely familiar with. Now, during this takeoff roll, I want to pay attention to see if I can really feel the texture of this runway. But either way, we're ready to go, so let's get on out of here. I'm going to set takeoff power. There's me and Flex. The engines come alive. Okay, you can definitely feel the rumble. Now, I'm going to turn off the engine RPM. Oh wow, okay. So even with the engine RPM, I can actually feel the texture of runway. This runway is extremely textured. There's a lot of bumps and a lot of ridges, and I'm sure you can hear it through the video, but that is very bumpy. That was really cool. I've actually got the engine RPMs turned off because I want to feel some of those other effects like the landing gear. That is very intense. So as the landing gear comes up, you can kind of feel the wind pushing against the landing gear. It's quite intense, but not only that, as it actually locks up into place, you get a very nice thud feedback to actually feel that it's locked in place. Now, as I said, I turned off the engine RPMs because I really want to see the individual effects and how they all work. And at the moment, it is such a weird and surreal experience. Going through the clouds, I can really feel all the different motors kind of vibrating, especially in my lower thigh region. I can really feel the individual pockets of air. It's such a weird experience, but in the same way, it just feels so natural. And even now, as we're just slowly climbing up, I can actually feel what the aircraft is doing. It is such an odd experience. It's uncanny how normal this feels. So is the HF8 Pro a game changer? Absolutely. It bridges the final sensory gap, turning abstract data into real functional feedback that makes you feel more connected. For the money, it's probably the single biggest leap in immersion you can make for your setup. And I want to give a huge thank you to Next Level Racing for sending out the HF8 Pro for me to check out today. They didn't ask me to specify or say anything specific, just to give it a test and give you my honest opinion. And to be totally honest with you, this has transformed the way I fly in Flight Simulator. It genuinely is mind-blowing, the feedback that this can provide and how you're flying and how the aircraft is performing. It's unreal. If you're serious about simulation, the HF8 Pro isn't just an upgrade, it's now a necessity for me. I genuinely can't use Flight Sim without it now. I've dropped a link to check out the HF8 Pro down the description. And again, a huge thank you to Next Level Racing, but until next time, I'll catch you then.